Carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
That, my friends, is the reason why we go to the movies. Dear writers out there, everyone who's creative, everyone with input, do something. Start something fresh.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say, carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
How are you guys doing?
I'm literally about to fucking kill myself, and I'm not kidding!
I have seen about 40 films in the last 9 days. And I've already lost my feeling for time and space. And I'm slowly slipping into something I would like to call Neil Breen mode.
Hi, this is Neil Breen.
I'm not dropping my coffee over my keyboard.
I can't wait any longer.
I can't wait any longer!
I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for this! Hello everyone and welcome to the Movie Void, where we review whatever the fuck we want to review. And this is our fourth and final episode of the Fantasy Film Fest 2017. And I am at my limit slowly, but still holding up pretty well. And I can't believe that this is the last episode of the season. And I will tell you a lot more about Season 2 and what the end of Season 1 means by the end of this episode. But we gotta get going so we don't miss even more movies than we already did. When Neil Breen mode kicks in, where will you be? Well, time for this little Neil Breen here to get their ass up and move to the movies. Let's do it.
It is difficult being in Neil Breen mode in the public. Totally. But you know what? I have hacked into government and corporate systems.
I've been hacking into government and corporate systems all over the country.
All over the world. I have gathered more information than any hacker.
All over the world. I have discovered more information than any hacker ever has.
Ever.
Ever.
And what I found will shock you.
What I have found will shock you.
So, strolling around late and almost there with my pumpkin spice latte. I don't miss my pumpkin spice latte no matter what. I'm not too big fan of Chinese cinema. It's like every 10th movie from China is a movie I like. And I don't know why that is. I have nothing against actually enjoying Chinese people. In the Asian territory, I will have to say the Japanese are my favorite when it comes to film. And the Koreans do a really good job. But the Chinese, their humor is weird. Their way of telling a story is weird. The actions the characters choose to do are weird. Well, I do like Jackie Chan a lot. So let's see if the fact that Jackie Chan produced this little thing will make it good.
China.
So, Reset was actually the best Chinese film I've ever seen. I haven't seen many in my life, but all of them that I saw, except for one strange zombie flick from last year's Fantasy Film Fest, didn't really suit me because somehow the humor and somehow the way they tell their stories never really affects me. But this one really did a good job. Reset is a story that happens in the future at a research facility where our main character, Xia Tian, played by Mi Young, is working at a research facility, and suddenly her son Dodo gets kidnapped and she has to bring these people some data from the research facility to save Dodo. The movie has a lot of unexpected twists, and after its first 40 minutes you get the surprise that it's actually a time traveling movie, and a lot of crazy shit happens. The whole entire thing sort of falls into this vibe of Run Lola Run, the German film, because she gets like a chance to fix something that went wrong 3 times, and it really keeps the suspense going very nicely. You can see that a lot of money was put into this. Greetings to Jackie Chan on this part, who produced this film. A lot of money went into this, which makes this film very visually stunning. There are a couple of confusing edits in there, because sometimes it is edited so weirdly that you don't know when a certain scene starts and a certain scene ends. Maybe it could have been intentional, but it seemed a little too confusing to be intentional. And what else was a little weird was, not weird, but it's actually pretty traditional in all Asian movies almost, that there is a lot of overacting going on. A lot of overacting. But once you're used to that, this is a very fun thing to watch. There are also some errors in space-time continuum theories. I've been discussing space-time continuum theories ever since I saw this with all the people here at the festival, and it seems that this movie doesn't make any sense at all in the space-time continuum theory when it comes to Back to the Future logic, but through Star Trek logic, it makes all the sense in the world. So, since I'm not a Star Trek fan, because Star Trek never really made any sense to me, I can just say, if you're a Star Trek fan, you won't find any space-time continuum logic in here. But the kid playing Doodoo is, I think, the most whiniest and annoying kid in a movie I have seen in years. You should start a drinking game where you take a shot every time Doodoo cries. or Dudu says mama, you guys will all be dead. I can guarantee you that. But otherwise, other than those small little remarks, this movie was very fun, and it is a great film, and everybody should give it a chance, because I think it's the best thing China has brought to us recently. And this park here, you guys have no idea how many drugs I've bought in this park already. Bye-bye. I'm gonna go buy some more.
I sit here in this gloomy park like a psychopath, waiting for its victim, enjoying a caramel pecan latte now. You can have all these Starbucks flavors. I'll be through all the Starbucks flavors soon. I'm waiting for the next film, which is My Friend Dahmer. And I'm very much looking forward to My Friend Dahmer. But I don't have that high expectations. Thing is, I've yet to see a good movie about a real serial killer. The only really good one I've seen is Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, and that one's pretty dated now. I've not been too keen on any of the Manson films, because they all try to make this artsy kind of a thing going, which I'm not a fan of at all. Gacy went into a very similar direction. I'm hoping My Friend Dahmer cuts it and belongs in the better sort of movies, but these serial killer movies based on true stories never really do the job.
I just saw My Friend Dahmer by Mark Myers. And this is a story about Jeffrey Dahmer's high school days. What makes this film so interesting is that it is actually behind, if you eliminate the information you have about Jeffrey Dahmer, of him being a serial killer after high school and stuff, this is just a movie about a weird little dweeby high school kid trying to make it out of high school alive. And again, we have a coming of age story. It used to be the zombie apocalypse. Now it's, we always used to say, oh hi zombie apocalypse. Now it's the time that we say, oh hi coming of age story.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So yes, this is maybe like the 5th coming of age story of the festival, but it was a really good one. And interesting information is that this film was considered in 2014 as one of the scripts that had to be made into a movie but never made it. Like as one of the best scripts that had to be made into the movie but never made it. And it finally became a movie, and it was actually really, really cool. The thing is just that it doesn't really have much to do with the monster you see in Dahmer. It just pictures your ordinary, everyday high school kid trying to just get out of high school alive. It's feels a little long, maybe. That's the only thing I would have to criticize. I have to also say that Ross Lynch, who plays Jeffrey, does an amazing job. I mean, this kid used to be like in films like Teen Beach Musical or whatever that bullshit is called. Wait, yeah, Teen Beach Movie.
Oh, I can't stop singing. Make it stop, make it stop.
And this is like his first serious movie, and for somebody who is just like a little kid actor who's trying to make it to play serious roles now, he did an amazing job.
Most definitely. Oh, yeah.
Anne Hesh, who played Jeffrey Dahmer's mother, was doing what she's best at, being awful, and she did a really good job doing that. And I have to say the cinematography department also made a very nice job in making this movie very bright and using, like, I'd like to call them vintage colors. Everything was in this matte tone, like like somebody had washed off the film a little bit, like everything has been dried up, and that made it look a lot like the time this played, which was the 70s. And this is really good. This is something like for all the fans who... This is a fun thing to say. This is a great movie for fans of serial killers and of great teenager high school movies. That's a weird combination, I know, but that is exactly what this movie does. And it is like totally cool, so look out for it. It's not like as special as it wants to be, but it is really, really, really cool. Veronica is an incredibly ridiculous, stupid Spanish film. And I cannot believe that this is from the same people behind Wreck, because this was just absolutely ridiculous. It is unintentionally funny in so many moments. It is almost like a horror version of The Room, only that The Room is 50 times more entertaining than this schlock of garbage. It is boring as fuck. It is like somebody decided to make a movie of Lance Stewart's demonic hauntings.
How can we help? D-I-E. Yo. She's crying. I'm not the one doing that.
That's actually not funny.
Break it!
Break what?
What the f***? Lizzie! Lizzie!
Only that Lane Stewart is a girl and he has to take care of 3 children. We have the girl playing with a Ouija board and afterwards being haunted by a demonic possession. The whole thing is so overflown with unnecessary jump scares that it bores you out of your mind, that you actually get used to jump scares coming. They don't even scare you anymore. You're just like, okay, nothing's happening. And when things get supernatural, the effects are just so cheap and the CGI is just so cheesy that it gets you to laugh. Like, the dialogue is absolutely ridiculous. And what is actually pretty sad is that a lot of people involved in this, like, they did the best they could, because the lighting in this film is actually very, very nice. Like, and it's also very nicely edited, especially the cinematography here kicks a lot of ass. It's actually very nice. But, oh, and Sandra Escacena, this is her first movie ever. And her acting works also really well. It's just that you have this totally stupid, ridiculous script, this totally stupid, ridiculous direction, and to top it off, these totally stupid, cheesy effects, and this really bad editing, and it is not cool. It is just stupid. It is totally ridiculous and mind-numbing, but like, I can recommend it for some unintentional laughs. Like, the movie is at points very unintentionally funny. But otherwise, if you're not looking for an unintentionally funny horror film that is also just unintentionally funny and amusing at parts, but generally mostly boring, stay away from this one. Veronica just really ain't that good. He found it good. Damn, that guy.
Working at a computer for long periods of time without taking a short break may cause you to feel some discomfort.
Mayhem is an incredibly fun, so I'll call it a splatter film, an action splatter film starring Stephen Yeun and Samara Weaving. It was very nice to see Stephen Yeun again. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, because I haven't seen him since The Walking Dead, where he died that terrible death by Negan. Ouch. His performance was excellent, and I am wondering why I haven't seen Samantha Weaving anywhere yet, because her acting was also absolutely amazing, and she is generally very hot, I also have to add there. Joe Lynch did an incredibly good job on this film. He has also brought us the wonderful Chillerama. And something else I really liked. Yes, Wrong Turn 2, the best wrong turn of the Wrong Turn series. This is like somebody took the Belko experiment and gave it a bunch of crack. I think in every scene there is somebody getting their face beaten to a pulp, at least in the background. It is about a firm that isn't really treating its workers very well. And one day, a virus sets into the building. And this virus causes people to let go of their repressed feelings and just step into action and do whatever the fuck they feel like. So if they are angry at somebody, they will bash their face in. If they like somebody, they will like them even more. And it is like you're giving a complete office a bunch of cocaine. That is also how it is described in the film itself. And there are a lot of things that go wrong in this firm, and Stephen Yeun and his female friend are treated very wrongly, and they step up to do justice to those who have wronged them. And everything in this film just is insane, because there is not a minute where there is all action going on. You have a lot of office shots, and it has that nice sterile cinematography that fits this workplace atmosphere very well. And that mixed with a lot of blood and guts and chaos is very refreshing, and there's just like simply a lot of contrasts to what you're seeing with your eye, which makes it such eye candy at the exact same time. I think all the acting in this film was very done. Some of it is overacted, but it fits a film like this very well. One can also say that the storyline is quite predictable, but this isn't really a film where it is about the story. It is about the journey, how you get there. And this is also where the dialogue comes in. I mean, a line like, "You open a door like my grandmother fucks," is seriously a line that was spoken in this movie, and that this movie is filled with lines like these. This movie is getting my very, very big cinema card award. My very, very big cinema award card comes only into play when the movie is so amazing that I don't want it to go down. It's a new thing. I just invented it today, by the way. So I think I would have also give probably Tragedy Girls the very big cinema card. But this was absolutely mind-blowing. It was incredible. It was like the Belko experiment on crack, as I mentioned before. Please watch this. If you're in for some good action and some good guts and some very snappy, bitchy dialogue, Mayhem is the absolute film for you.
See you soon, fuckers.
So, Jungle Potter. After seeing Harry Potter as Poopy Pants Potter in Swiss Army Man, and after seeing Harry Potter as Nazi Potter in Imperium, here we now have Jungle Potter. And Jungle Potter is actually based on a true story. It's based on a book called Jungle, a harrowing true story of survival, which is written by Yossi Ginsberg. And Harry Potter plays Yossi Ginsberg, and he has developed an accent over the years since his Nazi days. And he talks like this, which is very unusual for Mr. Potter. So Mr. Potter is like this adventurous young guy who just finished school, and he's like, everybody can go to Machu Picchu. If you want to go to Machu Picchu, go to Machu Picchu. I want a real adventure. I want to go into the jungle. So he takes 3 of his friends and they do just that. They go into the jungle. And the movie just first of all shows like the friends. First act of the movie is the friends like being on their way, checking out the jungle and stuff. I wouldn't be spoilering you all of this if the trailer hadn't spoiled everything for you already. But after a series of adventures, like some encounters of some animals, some injuries due to the climate in the jungle, they go on a raft, and this rafting trip suddenly goes terribly wrong, and Mr. Potter is separated completely from his group. And this is where he has to survive on his own. He has to fight animals, he has to look for food, he has to go through different weather situations, and it is quite adventurous, and you really feel for him. He actually even has to go through quicksand and shortly becomes Swamp Monster Potter. And then this is the part where the movie gets a little lengthy and feels long, because the moments where Harry Potter is alone in the jungle don't really have, like, there's no communication and interaction between people, so the scenes feel a little longer than they are supposed to. But generally, that's actually the only bad thing about this. The acting is incredible. Harry Potter is doing a good job. And I think if he does 3 or 4 movies like that, because so far I've seen 3, after he passes the amount of sequels Harry Potter has in other films, I will start calling him Daniel Radcliffe. But for now, he will still remain Harry Potter, and I wonder which other strange adventures Harry Potter will bring us on. The cinematography is also a very, very nice thing, because it enables the directors and everybody behind the lighting and the cameramen to really go balls out. Like, since this is happening in the jungle and there are all types of certain weathers and all types of different emotions, and also memories back to the normal world, you practically have everything. You have the gritty, dirty, rainy look. You have the beautiful, sunny, exotic rainforest look. You have fancy looking, crisp, sharp memories in his regular life outside the jungle. So like, they're pretty much going balls out when it comes to lighting and regular practical effects here. But that would actually, yeah, so Jungle is actually a really fun film. Not fun, but like an adventurous film to watch. And I would say it would be one of the great ones of the festival, so really check it out.
Any relationship, buy the flowers first before somebody hits you in the head.
We all float down here. Whoops, wrong movie. No, we're talking about Double Date, not It now. Double Date is a British low-budget film. It is, again, one of those wonderful little low-budget things that made an amazing job, just like Radius. It almost reminded me a bit of The London Void when it came to its nightlife, but let's get to the subject matter. It is a film by Benjamin Barfoot, who has only directed shorts so far in his life. And this is his first feature-length film, and it was really amazing for the low budget that it had. And the story is actually quite simple. We have 2 serial killers, female serial killers, who are out to get some certain men and kill them. I will not tell you why, because then I would spoiler you the end of the movie, but their murders have a purpose. So they pick out this little dweeby, virgin, ginger, British loser fellow, and one of these girls falls in love with this guy. And it is about this crazy night.
her sister and his best friend and the two of them have to go through. And all these insane, crazy things happen, and it is just a totally fun blast. But this is one of those movies where if I'd tell you anything more about the plot than this, I would spoil you too much. And I would really recommend you guys to find it somewhere, because I know this is not going to be that easy to find in the future, because this is really, really, really fun. It is one of those low-budget flicks that really create a great film. And the acting is done very nicely. Also, for a low-budget film, the cinematography really kicks ass, because most of the film takes place at night. And there is not a single part when you think anything is like overlit or underlit, for that matter. And there's some very whimsical British foul language dialogue in this film that is really fun to see and fun to hear. And there is some great music. I don't know if this film really has a soundtrack or anything at all. And I also think that somebody up there saw us, and we're not allowed to record here without a permit. So I'm going to just say, watch this film. It is really fun. And we will go on tomorrow, where it's our last crazy-ass day. I will make people float. I have to find kids wallowing in some sewers now. Georgie, I will find your boat.
Wait! I have hacked into every corporate and government system! Wait! I have shocking secrets to expose! Wait!
Okay, the last review we're doing is Hounds of Love. Damn, this actually really is the last movie review of season 1. Whoa. This is crazy. Crazy, I say!
Man, you crazy, Jesus! You're crazy!
That's what my ex-wife said.
So, Hounds of Love is a film by Ben Young, starring Ashley Cummings, Emma Booth, and Stephen Curry. And it is about a girl named Vicky Maloney who is randomly abducted in suburbia and held captive by two pretty white, trashy people. And it's actually, like, generally would have had the potential to be a really, really, really good movie, but it just ended up okay. And it's weird because, first of all, you have great actors. Everybody's totally convincing. The dialogue is also really good. You also have these beautiful, beautiful shots. I like, especially like the style it is done. It looks very pretty. It looks very washed up. Everything has this overly hot sunny day feeling when you're watching it. However, what fucks it up completely are two major things. The first one is the pacing. It just moves and goes on so slowly. So fucking slowly. Like, I had the urge to look at my phone while I was at the theater because it moved so slowly. And second of all is the character establishment, because you have so much time here on your hands. This movie is almost 2 hours long. You have so much time to create some characters, give them a personality, show us what they like, what they don't like, how they react to this, how they react to that. But we get none of that. None of that at all. We're just like thrown in, like, I can't tell you anything about these characters, like anything. And that is what makes it a little meh. But still, it's something watchable, but it doesn't belong in the category of great movies. But it's watchable though. You can give this one a shot. And like, since this is such a harsh theme, they do quite a good job dealing with the serious topics of this film without making them too exploitative or too Lifetime movie-ish and corniness. They pretty much have a nice level there. They somehow managed what MFA didn't get right. But we're not talking about a rape and revenge film, so I'm not gonna be leaving MFA a bit out of here. But like, what I mean is, they could have went full balls exploitive on this and showed like all the abusive scenes very detailedly, and there's just one rape scene. You see a bit more of than you usually do, but most of the things happens literally behind closed doors, because when something brutal is going on with a girl, you just see the door close and hear all this noise, and the evil of what is happening behind those doors starts going on in your imagination. They could be like tearing her nails out one by one. They could be smashing her face in. They could be stuffing things into her, shaving her heads like they do to them girls in the French movies. All sorts of things. But we don't know, and that is like a bit of the magic of this film here, because they leave all this shit to your imagination. The ending feels very unclimatic, even though you can have done much with this, but it all generally feels somewhat whatevs. But it was a good approach. I mean, if the crew should make something else, I think it would be better than this, but just a little bit more character development, and don't drag a movie where not that much happens for so long. And here we are now, at the end of the Fantasy Film Fest 2017. Yep, we did it! We reviewed over 30 movies. And I'm dead tired. Well, what we learned from this year's Fantasy Film Fest pretty much is that coming of age is the new shit. We probably will have a lot of coming of age movies thrown at us our way in the next year or two, thanks to Stranger Things and the success of it. And that's pretty cool. Well, it's better than those fucking superheroes, that's for sure. And generally, I think, like, this year was a blast. This year was absolutely amazing. I haven't seen such a good fantasy film fest since the year 2013. So, if this one's better than 2013, I don't know yet. I'll probably be able to decide that over time, so not as of yet, but we will see what the future brings. Now let's look at our collections. These are the films you want to avoid. And here are the films you could check out, but you don't have to. And here are the great beasts that you have to see. And here are the absolute classics. If you miss those, you're a fucking idiot. Literally. Guys, I am dead. It's been a horribly heavy 10 days. I'm gonna go shave and shower and shit like that. And sleep. And then we are going to talk about Season 2. So, let's talk about Season 2. Anyway, first of all, you guys don't have to worry. There will be no season break. We are pretty much going to keep going on the 17th of October. So that's pretty much 11 days after this video is released. So you actually have to wait a lot shorter than during the season break we had sometime in August this year. So that's a good story, right? You might ask yourself why we are even ending the season if there is generally no season break. Well, the thing is, when we first started this show here, it was just like a little experiment. All I've used in the beginning, we're not counting the voyages now, was this one webcam that is attached to my iMac, and I ain't got no mic, nothing. So I was thinking, like, instead of this stupid, boring bedroom background, we can actually, like, make a real background with maybe, like, a banner or a green screen or one of those crazy Chris Stuckman setups.
Welcome to the Stuckman's 5th annual Halloween special.
Yeah, look at that. Look at his crazy setups. I love his setups, but I don't know, maybe we're more the green screen type. We will see. We will also be using a better camera. We will also be using a microphone. And we will definitely, and we will also, and this is going to be really fun for you guys, we are actually going to be having scheduled dates. Starting from the 17th of October, we will be airing every Tuesday. Unless I say something else, like I will need a break every once in a while too. I've gotten so accustomed to doing these quickies during the Fantasy Film Fest that outside the regular episodes, the regular 20 to 40 minutes episodes I usually do, we will also be doing quickies that have nothing to do with a festival or anything at all. They're just completely separate from actual episodes. So you can look forward to that. There's generally going to be a lot more content in the future. So things are looking pretty bright, and if things keep going like this, we're not really going away anytime soon. So let's not make this season finale so dramatic. You guys will see me when you see me.
Bet your ass I wish to proceed.
And that will be in 10 days. So, bye-bye. You'll see a trailer for season 2 in a couple of days.